Here, you're ready for your dose of reality.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, can we get this to start again? You know, you got the important one up here. This is a great video. Come on, in the back. Let's get this thing rolling again. I want to see
you stop! We're not doing this today.
We're not doing what? We're watching your new intro. Let's show it again. That was awesome, especially the parts with me in it.
You see where his mind's at. Yeah, thank you to our producer who made the video there. We really appreciate that.
I'd rather watch that again than what we're about to do.
Well, this is true, but we got to do it.
Fine. So go ahead. Let's start the show like you're supposed to. Go ahead.
Because I'm Dr. Quack, and
I'm the important one, Mr. Mayhem. And welcome to 2021. Let's hope it's a whole lot better than 2020. I mean, I wore a tuxedo today, the bow tie, and
just pointing it out because y'all crazy for making me watch this.
y'all crazy for putting it on the run sheet.
Well, it happens.
Are you going to slap the same producer that just created that video?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Don't slap him too hard. That entrance was nice.
Yes, it was. I will give it that. But yes, today we are looking at the Royal Rumble 1988, the very first one, the one that started it all.
Again, I'm wearing a bow tie because I don't want to hang myself. This thing is god awful. And honestly, this is not even a pay-per-view, although the WWE calls it a pay-per-view. This appeared live on USA Network.
Yes, thank you, USA Network, for bringing us this one.
I hope somebody got fired over this.
I don't know. It's a good question to ask. Whoa. Anybody in the audience, let us know on that. But let me tell you, this took place in Ontario, Canada, with Jesse the Body Ventura and Vince McMahon on commentary.
It was all right. In the beginning, the music that they had playing, it was too loud. They kept running the music when Jesse and Vince did the intro to the show, so it was hard to hear them. And it lasted all the way up till the entrance music for Rick Rude, so it was kind of... And by the way, this one took place in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. This was the very first, what could be classified as a pay-per-view event appearing in another country.
There you go. Mean Gene Okerlund there being the side-by-side interviewer there. Make sure you check out my hotline.
This is when Mean Gene started his downhill slide of being a goof. He was really good, and then he kind of discovered he was a goof, and he never recovered.
Yeah, I thought he did a decent job for what he did out there.
But, fair.
But, you know, first match here, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Ravishing Rick Rude.
This is a match that didn't happen very much. Rick Rude and Ricky Steamboat. They should have wrestled each other more. I think their styles really could have worked together a whole lot better. And for some reason, this match just wasn't. It wasn't there. I mean, I did give this match 2 3/4 stars, but there was a lot of flaws in this match. Rick Rude, one of the greatest heel workers, only punched.
Yeah. Steamboat ended up winning this match by disqualification.
And there's one thing that's gone into wrestling that I wish would go away is the tap out. In this match, Ricky Steamboat was building a lot of crowd enthusiasm. He was in chin locks and a lot of holds, and he was slapping the mat, trying to show the pain and trying to get the crowd into it. and today the match would be over. Let's stop the tap out.
Yeah, we're not UFC here, folks.
You know, let's stop the tap out and allow those guys to use that as a selling piece, because that part was done very, very, very well.
I gave this a 2.5. I felt like this was a solid opener. You know, I mean, it's definitely better than previous pay-per-views. Talking even Starrcades, talking even the first WrestleMania out there, the second WrestleMania. This was a great opener.
Yes, there was a lot of good selling, a lot of good timing, even though Rick Rude really didn't show what he could do. I don't know if that was by design or he was just having a bad day. But you gave it 2.5. I did give it 2 3/4, but I really felt that was kind of high. Probably 2.5 is a little more correct.
Yeah. And here we go, the second one here. This is the bathroom break match where it's normally at. And this one, yeah. Dino Bravo attempts to bench press 715 pounds, the world record at this time.
The world record at this time was 705 pounds, set by a man named Ted Arcidi, who would join the WWF at that time as a strongman who was the catalyst for people who move with all the speed and excitement.
I couldn't tell if he was on roids or coke sometimes. You watch him, there's an episode of him on the Piper's Pit, which I'll never forget in my life.
Yeah, but Ted Arcidi was not talented, and this thing really went too long. This did not belong on this show, the first ever Royal Rumble. This should have been a Piper's Pit segment or something along those lines. And Jesse, for God bless him, he did the best he could.
He did.
Gene Okerlund kept giving the microphone to Frenchie Martin, and Frenchie Martin decided to speak in French, which in Quebec, the next neighboring province, they speak French. Ontario, they don't. Well, they may know French, they don't speak French. And it caused Dino Bravo to figure out he couldn't speak English and started speaking French. And 1.5 stars. I mean, the concept of building of doing the moves, but this didn't belong on this event. This belonged on like a Piper's Pit.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it 2 stars for the simple fact of watching Jesse run his mouth at McMahon and just yelling at him to keep the fans quiet. And
that was funny, especially when he hinted that Vince McMahon was trying to rally up the crowd to make noise. So I can see that, but I only gave it 1.5. It just ran way too long.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that didn't belong here, you know. Put that on Superstars or something, not on a pay-per-view or a major show.
Yes.
You know. Next match here, and this is where, women's wrestling was not really a focus back then. And they had this match here for the WWF Ladies Tag Team Championships. Yes, they had tag team titles before Sasha Banks and Bayley won them. They were held by the Glamour Girls, who were with Jimmy Hart, who were taking on the Jumping Bomb Angels.
Yes, the original variation of the World Wrestling Federation women's titles came in existence right around 1983. Yeah. And it lasted for 5 years, for 4 years. It faded out in 1987 or 89. I wish I could remember. I really didn't care that much because only 3 teams really held this.
Yeah, but shortly after this, it was disbanded.
Yeah, and 2 of the 3 teams that held it are in this match. The Glamour Girls, managed by Jimmy Hart, against the Jumping Bomb Angels, who they were a team from Japan who they were mid. They didn't hold a lot of interest in Japan, but for some reason somebody liked them here and brought them over here, so they competed for the WWF for a few years to bring some of the puroresu over, trying to, bring a little different view. This is when Vince McMahon wanted to see what would stick, what WWF was going to be in the future. So he brought some puroresu in.
I personally love this match. I mean, first fall went to the Glamour Girls, second fall went to the Jumping Bomb Angels. You didn't know who was going to win this match, but the Jumping Bomb Angels hit that double drop kick and ended up winning this. By the way, they were not, they were made to look like wrestlers. They weren't your divas, the Jumping Bomb Angels, and they looked really good. I gave it 3 stars. I actually thought this was really one of the highlights of the show.
I think Judy Martin and Leilani Kai would fall into the same category if they're not meant to look like divas.
Right. I agree.
They're not camera friendly.
They were not debutantes.
No, I only gave this match 2.5 stars. While the transitions were really, really good and the match had a lot of back and forth, there was still a timing issue that Vince hadn't worked out yet in production. Of some moves were too fast that the director wasn't able to keep up, so we got a lot of the better views. So the production of this more fast-paced women's match, which was not a very common thing, really still isn't common all that much today as fast-paced women's match. The director kind of hurt the production value, so I only did give this one 2.5 stars, mostly because of we didn't get to see everything we should have seen.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I thought it was a decent match, especially for that era.
But yes, I will agree. It was a very good and was very trend-setting match for 1988.
Yeah. And then after that, you had the contract signing between Hogan and Andre for the infamous The Main Event, where they met in a rematch for the world title.
Contract signing. Stop that!
Yes.
I only gave it 1 star, and it really doesn't even deserve 1 star. The reason I gave it 1 star is, as he alluded to, this led to February 5th, 1988, which was the match that Hogan lost the title after his 4-year reign to Andre the Giant, which led to the Ted DiBiase handoff, which led to WrestleMania 4. So this contract signing was very, very important, but 13 minutes of time wasted that I will never get back. Andre the Giant rocking against the rope. Then Andre the Giant sitting there praying the chair doesn't break.
Yeah, it was just god-awful.
This thing ran way too long, and Hogan acted like you could tell he didn't want to be there. He didn't use his usual hookups. He kind of just like he was hyperventilating. It was not good. Barely 1 star, only because of the historical value of this signing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going with. I'm going with 1 top star there. I mean, Ted DiBiase, of course, the manipulation. I love that, you know, because you always get that out of the good classic heel out of it.
That's another thing that should have been on a Piper's Pit or something along those lines, not this event.
Yeah, put that on Superstars or All American Wrestling. Yeah, I'm going back for some of you folks. If you don't know about that, learn your history. But I'm going to tell you, and you know, this is another big one here, and this is what shocked me. This match here, this is the very first Royal Rumble. Not the main event of this show, by the way. We'll get into that. But the 20-man Royal Rumble.
Yes, and with the recent passing of Pat Patterson, it is, you know, a little nice that we're doing the match that everybody gives Pat Patterson the credit for inventing this match.
Yes, rest in peace.
So we're not going to be critical of the matches, the Royal Rumble format, because the Royal Rumble format is very, very good. And it's very creative. You know, Battle Royals themselves are sometimes a little hard to keep up with. This tries to eliminate some of that difficulty in keeping up with things and creates a little storyline and a future storyline that doesn't always get done in Battle Royals.
Yeah, let me read you down who was in this. Because I'm telling you, you had quite a few amount of names. How many Hall of Famers did they have, you said?
By my count, it's 11 out of 20.
11 out of 20. This is a 20-man battle, not a 30, not a 40, not a 60. You know, not the greatest Royal Rumble. No, this is the very first one. But here you go. Bret the Hitman Hart, Tito Santana, The Natural Butch Reed, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Jake Snake Roberts, Harley Race, Jim Brunzell, Sam Houston, Danny Davis, Boris Zukov, Don Morocco, Nikolai Volkov, Jim Duggan, Ron Bass, Brian B. Blair, Hillbilly Jim, Dino Bravo, a young Ultimate Warrior, the One-Man Gang, and the Junkyard Dog.
Yes, so for those of you that are history buffs, like we said, study your history, the very first entrant ever into the very first Royal Rumble, Bret the Hitman Hart.
And I mean, I felt like, you know, this was, you know, not as bad as some people would like to say. Yes, there's better Royal Rumbles, but I loved it. And who ended up winning that Royal Rumble?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who also has a piece of history. He is the first person ever to win this event on his first try. Yes, I know it's strange to say that because it's the very first, but there's only been 2.
Who is the other one?
We'll talk about them later.
Oh,
they're coming up down the road.
Oh, you make sure you keep an eye out for that. You know, I loved it personally. I mean, you got to see, like I said, a young Ultimate Warrior. He came out there. The one-man gang, out. You know, it was funny. The commentators were even pointing at it going, yeah, he's going to win this. He's got the size. He came in late. He's full of energy. And then he throws himself over the rope.
But at least Duggan did it well. He waited till the very last second. Not the today where you see where they pull it down as the guy's halfway across the ring like, oh, my brakes don't work. I guess I just got to deal with it.
And my two-finger salute moment on that match for this entire card was Nikolai Volkov. How do you not know your number? I mean, Don the Rock's running down, and you're running right with him about 5 feet away. I'm like, that's not your number. The referees even stopped you. You got punched in the face for that. Yep. So sorry, Nikolai, you get the two-finger salute.
Yep. And I'm going to give the you smell salute to Butch Reed, who also has the infamous of being the first person eliminated from this event. He entered at number 3, and he was out before number 5.
Yes. Oh, man. Could not believe that. But I'm telling you, that was not even the main event. And this is what shocked me, because every other Royal Rumble, that is the main event. They had, well, practically, but they had the Islanders taking on the Young Stallions here. 2 out of 3 falls. Why are you going to have 2 out of 3 fall matches in one card is beyond me.
I understand the Jumping Bomb Angels. In the 70s and the 60s, all title matches were 2 out of 3 falls. So that's fine. I'll give that one. That one was fine being a 2 out of 3 falls match. Alluding back to the history. The Islanders and the Young Stallions were fighting over nothing. They didn't gain anything. They didn't, well, Paul Roma lost more respect, but they didn't lose anything.
You saw fans leaving during the middle of this show.
Yes.
Middle of this match.
Yeah. And this match just awful. Awful. I mean, worse than awful.
It looked like Paul Roma got hurt, I believe. Is that what I'm guessing?
Paul Roma came into this match needing knee surgery. So he did have a knee injury. The problem was the knee that needed to be repaired was his right knee. And they injured his left knee. And it didn't even look very good.
But he was a future 4 horseman.
So was Mongo.
We're going to save that for another show. But what did you rate this match?
Geico match clap of the night.
Yes.
This match, like you said, the Islanders went over in 2 straight falls. The first one was a pinfall, and the first one was a countout, and the second one was a pinfall.
Yes.
And just 3/4 of a star.
Yeah, it was very lackluster for a main event. I'm going to be nice here. I'm going to give it 1.5. It really belongs somewhere in the middle, and they should have had the Royal Rumble in the main event match. I mean, if you're going to make a main event, it's either the Rumble itself or it's a world title match. One of the two. I mean, you don't just put a random match out there as your main event. I think they learned from that, though.
I think they did, and right shortly after this, they actually broke up the Young Stallions because in real life, Paul Roma and Jim Powers didn't like each other. Paul Roma thought he should have been a world champion. Jim Powers knew he was a jobber to the stars, and their 2 egos didn't work. So, thank you, Jim Powers, for being understanding and respectful of your position.
That's right. Learning the craft and doing what you do best. I really appreciate that. Jobbers is not a bad term. Believe that, by the way. Nope. You need those in the business, and that's something I think one of many things we're missing.
Yes.
But I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you can. I'm Dr. Quack.
I'm the important one, Mr. Mayhem, and this is what we've got next.
Oh, yeah. It's coming.
I hope it's not what I think it is.
Oh, get ready, folks. And I'm out.